guys, welcome back to another video. If you recognize this face, then you saw my last video. But I am in a mood because I just got done editing a storytime video, and then this stuff happened to me recently, and I know at least one person who has requested me to make a video on this. So here we are, making a video on this. So this video is a update / continuation of a Bumble BFF Meetup nightmare. If you've not seen that video, I will link it. I think it's this side. I will link it up here. Watch it first. If you don't watch it, you're not going to understand any of this basically. So I'm going to give you like 5 seconds to go watch this and then come back. Cool, you watched that video? Perfect. Welcome back. So thank you TikTok, because TikTok taught me a little hack where if you don't want people to see screenshots of you like through Snapchat, they have this hack. If you haven't seen it, go check out that hack. But that's how I have said screenshots without letting this person know that I was taking screenshots. The only backstory I'm going to give to this story time is I now know Blair's real name. I'm not going to use Blair's real name because it's just rude and I don't want to stoop to that level. So Blair will remain Blair. But I know Blair's real name now. Long story short, I'm still swiping on Bumble, still trying to make friends. And this girl came up and she looked so familiar. But I couldn't quite place it, but I swiped on her. We matched. We started chatting, and more times than not, I prefer to move to either like text messages or Snapchat because it's just easier. I feel like the Bumble app isn't very friendly, like as far as messaging goes. So if I can try to get a girl to like move our conversation elsewhere, that's what I will do. And so that's what we did, is me and this girl ended up adding each other on Snap. And every now and then she would send me random pictures. They would be like pictures of her. She got like this new overnight job as a security guard, and she would send me like sideways pictures like trying to show me her butt, which was extremely weird. And at one point in time she asked me to come and meet up and hang out with a group of girls. I was busy and I wasn't able to make it, but I didn't like just delete her or anything. I'm just like, not right now, I can't. But last week, it finally clicked because this said girl posted on her Snap story and sent it to me and said, I need to quit spending money, but my boyfriend won't stop me from spending money, or something like that. And I'm like, okay, this girl looks so familiar, and a lot of her snaps were about like buying stuff and whatnot. And I'm like, no way. So I message her. I go, hey, does your boyfriend work for Twitch? She said no. And I'm like, oh, you look so familiar, and this girl's boyfriend works for Twitch. That's why I asked. Sorry. She goes, my ex works for Twitch. When I tell you my head exploded, I had a rush of anger rush through me. I was like, you are kidding me. I go, oh, do you have a friend named Megan? Which you will remember from my last video, she had a friend named Megan. The reason why I remember her name so much is her name is Megan. Duh. And, hold on. I don't want to say this other girl's name in case she sees this. I want to use the fake name I gave her in my last video, but I can't remember what that fake name was. So, one moment please. Okay, the other girl's name was Kimberly in my last video, so that's what we're going to keep calling her. I go, do you have a friend named Megan? She goes, yes, and Kimberly. I'm like, okay, thought so. I'm surprised you added me on Snap or matched with me on Bumble then. She goes, you didn't remember me? I'm like, after you adding me on Snap, I thought you looked familiar and couldn't resist asking. She goes, have you talked to Kimberly lately? I go, I haven't, especially not about other people's business. Because I figured she was like, oh, did Kimberly tell you anything about me? Like, no, Kimberly didn't. Like, no. I'm like, especially about other people's business. She's like, just in general. I'm like, a few random snaps here and there, but not much. And she didn't reply. She didn't leave me on red or anything, but she didn't reply. And so I got talked into asking her why she behaved the way she did. I wanted to word it nicely because I wanted her to reply and not immediately block me because I wanted answers. And I felt like I was entitled to answers. And so I go, why were you so nasty to me? LOL. So, you know, again, gotta kind of play it cool. And she goes, you were nasty to me. And she goes, from the minute I walked in, you were so cold to me. At this point, I was driving to go get food. I didn't feel like using Siri to text for me because half the time Siri doesn't get my words correct and it misjumbles stuff. And then I just look stupid because like the words are wrong or grammar is incorrect or whatever. So I sent her a snap video and I explained to her, which obviously I don't have I can't quite show you because it has her real name on it. Dang it. But anyways, I sent her a video and I was basically saying like along the lines of like, no, like that's not what happened at all. What happened was the minute that me and Kimberly were sitting at the table at the bar waiting on you and Megan to show up, you immediately looked at us, talked crap on what we were wearing and how we weren't fancy enough, but yet there were people sitting not even like, 20 feet from us in hoodies. So you were just nasty from the minute you walked in before you even sat at the table and I got a chance to introduce myself. Something along those lines. And she goes, you got it all wrong. You were the one rude first. And we all agreed. I go, LOL, okay. She goes, obviously you aren't over it. At this point, I'm messaging Kimberly because I'm like, where did this girl, Blair, get these assumptions? And if like they all agreed, like why didn't Kimberly say anything to me? So I sent her more videos and I don't even remember what I said, but something along the lines of like, I was messaging Kimberly all night and like she agreed that you were being a bitch and like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, if you're referring to me being rude because I laughed when I called you crazy, like, fine, but like, that has nothing to do with from the minute you walked in or something along those lines. And then I also texted and I said, the reason why I'm still upset is because the way that it was handled was so immature on your end. So that's where that went in. And so now we have another part. Like, I had to keep taking multiple like screen recordings. But anyways, she goes, I felt the same about you. I go, I'm not the one that was doing any name calling. If you'll recall, she called me a dumb, judgmental, stupid bitch or something like that. I can't quite remember. And she goes, oh, hold on. She goes, just a little. I go, me literally laughing and calling you crazy sarcastically about your ex situation is totally different than you calling me a dumb fucking bitch. That's what it was. A dumb, judgmental fucking bitch. She goes, the ex situation you need to know more about before you can judge. I go, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. You didn't call me a dumb fucking bitch. You called me a dumb fucking judgmental bitch. And again, I was literally laughing out loud, joking around because the situation was just so crazy. I wasn't judging you because we all have our own shit going on. And the last thing I'm going to do to a stranger that I'm having dinner and drinks with is start being judgy. So sorry, honey. Nope. She goes, and they kept talking to you because they wanted to be friends. We're not even talking about the other girls at this point. We're talking about us, so I don't know why you re-brought them up, but okay. And I go, then I guess they were just fake, because who would be okay with someone allegedly acting like a bitch from the minute they sat down and wanted to keep talking? That's not how life works. In my mind, I wasn't already going out with you guys that night, and I was probably never going to see you again, so I didn't really care if you were acting like a bitch because I was already drinking and planning on going home later. Meaning I was a little buzzed, so like it was easier to tolerate than if I had been sober. She goes, then why go out? I go, that's why when I realized you were you, I'm so confused on why, if you knew who I was this whole time, why did you match me on the Bumble app, add me on Snap me, and ask me to hang out right after ask me to hang out. Right, but my intention was to go to dinner and then go out with you guys until I realized the behavior I was in for in the full extent to make some new friends. Wait, what? This shit don't make sense. I'm pretty sure I used Siri at this point. That's why when I realized that you were you, I'm still confused on why, if you knew who I was the whole time, why you would match me on the Bumble app, add me on Snap me, and ask me to hang out. And then going back to her comment of, then why go out? I go, right, but my intention was to go to dinner and then go out with you guys until I realized the behavior I was in for. The full extent was to make some new friends. I didn't know you guys, but I'd hung out with Kimberly previously, so when Kimberly said, hey, I have these friends, let's go to dinner, I'm like, cool. And then I go out and I'm like, okay. And then you were just nasty to me the whole time and just waving money around like it was cute. I don't care if you have money. Like, I'm happy for you, boo, but like the way she went about it was not fun. Like, nobody wants to hear you just brag nonstop. So she goes, You weren't the nicest either. I admitted my behavior. I go, so according to you, I wasn't nice because you assumed I was being judgmental. I go, but just like you said, don't always assume things. Because like I said, I was literally kidding and laughing as I called you, I shit you not. She just fucking snapped me right now. Bitch. Hold on. I'll open that snap after I finish reading these. But I go, I was literally kidding and laughing as I called you crazy about the entire situation. And it wasn't even a direct attack. It was just me literally just saying how absurd and crazy that was. But we all have our crazy shit going on. So I don't know how I was being judgmental. Again, unfortunately, I was using like Siri and stuff because I was driving. I was going to get food and I didn't want to wait to message her back. But anyways, she goes, literally, you can't get over it. I go, right, but the whole point is that you never apologized to me for calling me a dumb, judgmental fucking bitch. And secondly, I still don't know why, if you knew who I was the whole time, why you added me and tried to hang out with me after the fact. Like, that's literally all I want to know is why, if you knew who I was, why did you message me on Bumble, add me on Snapchat, send me snaps, and ask me to hang out? Like, that's all I wanted to know at this point, because it was like, okay, I get it, like, you don't like me, I don't like you, so why were you trying to be my friend still after the fact? And what's even weirder is and I don't know the whole situation obviously, but I never deleted my Bumble account, so if she was on Bumble when her and Kimberly matched and started hanging out, why did I never see her? Did she delete her account? Did I just swipe no on her and then she created a new account and then I swiped yes on her? I don't really know. It was super weird. But anyways, she's like, 'cause I got over it. And I go, okay. I go, but clearly you didn't like me as a person. So I had messaged Kimberly, like I said, and I had gone, hey, I have a question. And I go, was I the one that was being so rude when we all went to dinner? Kimberly said, I go, from the way that I remember it, the minute that we sat down and waited on them to show up, she walked in, insulted our outfits before I even got a chance to introduce myself. She goes, I remember it being that way as well. From the minute we walked in, I could tell something was wrong. Because I go, remember, there were people in hoodies sitting there, so, we weren't, underdressed, and she shouldn't have been insulting us. She goes, I saw the two people in hoodies, too. I never called you a bitch. I thought she was being one to you. Now, going back to Blair, the last thing I said to her was, but clearly you didn't like me as a person. She goes, wanted to see if you changed. I go, girl, I've been living my best life, still trying to make friends, but also enjoying moving here during a pandemic. But I'm definitely not fake, and I speak my mind, within reason, obviously. She goes, that's good for you. That was the end of that conversation. Basically what happened after that was I never snapped her. I didn't send her selfies, I didn't send her makeup pictures or, things I'd gotten in the mail or anything like that, because a lot of these Bumble girls, if I'm not keeping constant interaction with them, I forget to try to hang out with them or make plans or anything. So she was now in that rotation where when I got a bunch of clothes in the mail, I snapped to a massive amount of girls and stuff. And so I quit sending her any snaps whatsoever once I knew who she was. And I'm just like, okay, we didn't really end this conversation on a good note. Nothing got resolved. You never apologized to me. I'm leaving it as is. You think I was nasty? Fine. Think what you want. But I know my truth. And I know how it actually happened. And the fact that Kimberly also said that, I have the screenshots. I have the screenshots. Come at me, Blair. I have the screenshots. You're just saying that to make yourself look better because you knew you were acting like a dumbass. That simple. And if Megan really felt that way, that's fine. She doesn't have to be my friend, and I've never talked to her again since. That's fine. And so that's why I would think that if I was really acting that way, why would you even attempt to be my friend? I don't care if it's months later. Why would you even think about being my friend? That's just ridiculous to me. So, that was that. But she had still sent me, random snaps. And, every time I would post on my story, she would extra snap me. And it's I'm not replying to you. I'm not interested. I didn't delete her. I didn't block her. But I was just not talking to her. So, let's see what the snap is she just sent me. Oh, she dyed her hair, by the way. I don't remember what color she was. I think she was blonde or brunette. She might have been a redhead then, too. I don't think she was because Megan's a redhead, and I would remember if there was two redheads. So, yeah, she colored her hair. Good for her. Live your best life. Leave me alone. But that's my little update. I hope that you know who you are and you wanted this video. Now you got it. That was me reading verbatim. Obviously, there were a few things I had to fill in the pieces of because A, Siri doesn't know how to type things out for me correctly. And secondly, I had sent some videos and obviously I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember the context, so that's as close as I could get. But everything she had said to me was text on my screen. Obviously I can't show them because it has her actual name. I'm not going to show the screenshots. This isn't like real drama to me. This is just a crazy story that happened to me that I am now touching base on now that I have more to touch on. Again, the situation is just so absurd and crazy to me. But that is this video. I promise there are like good story times coming from Bumble interactions, but there's also some more not great, not this level, but not great interaction as well. So there will be more Bumble story times to come, but I wanted to get this out because I know that there's at least one person that has been wanting to know the rest of this story. But that's all I've got for this video. Subscribe, comment, like, turn on that bell, all the fun stuff. Till next time.